and welcome to another episode of Leslie Said What. Sorry, I am like pouring in sweat. I'm super hot. It has been a long day, rushing in here, trying to get everything associated. So just like, forgive my appearance, guys. Forgive my appearance. Anyway, I am super excited about my guest tonight, as always. But tonight, guys, is even more special. I have Miss Kerri Pomarolli. And if I said it wrong, Kerri, when you get in here, correct me. Anyway, let me show you guys this quick clip. As always, feel free to say hello, make a comment. We're just enjoying the conversation, and we hope you enjoy today's show. Anyway, real quick, this is a clip from Kerri's comedy to give you guys a little insight as to who Kerri is.
In the dieting, I really was trying to do the dieting, and I would get on the scale because they say weighing is accountability. You're supposed to weigh yourself. So I got this scale, and then the battery broke. Have you ever gotten on the scale when the battery broke? And it's a digital scale, and my scale, I kid you not, it's a true story, said LOL. That's what my scale said. And it was like I could hear it laughing at me, and it sounded like my mother. Do you know what I'm saying? I think you should just get a scale that sounds like your mother, and you just get on the scale. My mom's like, I told you not to have those cupcakes. I told you. It's not a thyroid problem, Kerri. It's not a thyroid problem. You're emotionally eating. Just walk it off.
Isn't she hilarious? Oh my gosh, I love her. Anyway, without further ado, because you guys know I don't do a whole lot of preliminary stuff, I'm like, let's just get the show started. Okay? And let us welcome Miss Kerri Pomarolli. What's up, girl?
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Kerri is joining us live, guys, from the beach, talking about multitasking mom.
I came here with 3 kids today, and I have 0. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Leslie? So I came to the beach with 3 kids, and now I have 0 kids, and that's how I'm going to leave. It's legal in California to live on the beach, so I just dropped 3 random children with tents on the beach and let the government deal with them.
There you go, Kerri. There you go. Do just that. Okay, enjoy your freedom. Michelle says Kerri rocks. Michelle Van Dusen says hello, Kerri rocks.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Greetings.
So, Kerri,
Leslie and I were just talking about how we hate the sand, but we like the beach. So if the beach didn't have sand, it would be perfect.
Yes, and I totally agree with her on that. I totally agree with Kerri on that. Yes, Kerri, we can hear you just fine. Don't worry about it. It's probably just a delay from you being in the ocean and us being on land. So don't even worry about it. It's just a delay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Don't even worry about it.
Oh my gosh, Leslie, this is like going to be the interview to end all interviews. Like, we tried so hard.
Yes, it's okay, guys. We were trying so hard.
Maybe we could have a studio. Kerri, if you cared about your career, maybe you go and be in a real place.
Don't even worry about it. Oh my gosh, don't worry about it at all.
Language?
I know, right? And I do know sign language. I'm just saying.
I do too. I love you.
Yeah. Right back, Kerri. Right back. So, see, guys, yeah, like me and Kerri have been like trying to, what is the word? Figure out this whole thing so that it's definitely working, but it may be a delay or whatever. But guess what? It doesn't matter. We're going to do the thing. We just going to do the thing. Michelle says to make a castle, Kerri, and then the kids can live in something better than tents.
My children are responsible for their own housing, Michelle.
So yeah, Michelle, we can't be doing it. We can't be doing it. So Kerri, talk to us about being a comedian, a female comedian in a male-dominated career. How's that going?
Well, here's the worst thing you can do, Leslie. Don't date a comedian and then marry a comedian who has no car. That is terrible life skills.
I can only imagine. Oh my gosh, I can
So
only imagine.
you can be a female comedian in a male dominated world. You just can't date the comedians or fall in love with the comedians. You need to look out in your audience and see who's wearing scrubs, okay? You need to look for a man who's just come from a surgery that he was performing.
There you go. There you go. Find the doctors in the crowd, right? Find the doctors in the crowd. So,
But
Kerri,
you
how
know
long
what,
have you been
Leslie, in
doing?
all serious, I'm sorry about the delay. I'm just going to talk for a long time. I'm going to give
Go
you a
ahead.
serious answer.
Go ahead.
As a female in a male dominated comedy coming up, which it's still that way now, I really don't feel that it was a detriment to me. It was almost to my advantage because, in this weird way, that they would use it in this twisted affirmative action, like, hey, we have to have one girl on the show, you'll do, you know. And so I got a lot of jobs just because I was a girl, but then I had to prove myself once I got there, and I think I had
Yeah.
to work really hard to be as funny. And so the best feeling in the world is when you're back in the green room and it's a bunch of dudes and they don't know you, and then you go out and you have a really good set and they come over and high five you and, you know, want to get to know you, not because you're a girl, but because you had a really good set. So I think it's
Right.
harder for women to prove themselves, but the opportunities are there because they need us to fill out their quotas, especially in our 2021 woke society. You can't forget
Yes.
about the
Woke, woke.
women.
Yeah. Can't forget about that.
That's
Well,
right.
I'm glad you said that because that actually piggybacks off of the next thing I wanted to ask. Like, I don't know about you, Kerri, but for me, I'm like, as a comedian, I'm wondering now, based on our woke society, like, what can I say? What can I not say? What's they gonna be like, girl, get off the stage? And what are they gonna be like, oh, girl, no, stay on the stage? You know what I mean? So,
Well, the good thing for you, Leslie, is that you're black, so anything they say against you is racist. You got to play that card. You got to play that black card
oh my
till
god,
the cows come home. You can
you
do
just took.
anything. My friend last night, he went to buy illegal fireworks and he goes, I'm a black man. What are they going to say to me?
Oh my
I was
gosh,
like,
Kerri, you are
you're going to,
hilarious.
well, I'm not wrong. But I, on the other hand, with this face, I have a joke in my act. I talk about my daughter and how she ate her earthquake kit at school and she ate the canned tuna. And I was like, that's ghetto. And this woman wrote me a letter and said, I
Oh,
can't use the word
jeez.
ghetto. And I was like, first of all, the black community does not own ghetto. It started in Nazi Germany. But I won't use the word now because she said I was offensive.
Yeah, and it's like that's what I'm saying. Like as a comedian, I feel like everything is getting offensive. Like I'm scared. Like I told you the other day, but when we were off air, like I'm scared to use my white jokes because I don't want to be offensive.
Well, the thing is, you're not offensive. Everybody loves you because you're African American. You got to ride it, girl. You got to ride the wave, okay?
Oh my
You
gosh!
got
So I
to
just have to
ride the wave. You'd
just
be like,
hop
if
on.
you don't get hired for something, you'd be like, it's because I'm black, right? It's because I'm black. And then just make, you got to use this white guilt to your advantage, Leslie.
I promise, though, Kerri, if one more white person apologizes to me, and, and I'm done. I'm done. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
you know, I came up with African American comics. I came up with Bone Hampton and Sherry Shepard and Anthony Griffin, and we would do multicultural rooms, and it was just a joy because I didn't feel there was such a divide when I was performing with them in comedy as much as maybe there is like music, like there's gospel music, and then there's like quote,
Hmm.
you know, Christian music. So I just had a really good comedy upbringing where I learned to be funny in every single room. And it really bugs me when a comic will go, I can only do quote white room or black room.
Yeah,
Like that's just stupid.
it
That's
is
just
stupid.
stupid.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
And honestly, I would do an African American Latino crowd over a Caucasian crowd 100,000 times because I feel like the typical, let's just say, I'm gonna get in trouble for this interview.
No,
Typical,
you're
sometimes
not.
Caucasian crowds, they aren't giving themselves enough permission in a church setting, maybe, to laugh. And like, there's a lot more grace in some of my African American churches that I've done. They're just more easygoing per se. I don't know how to
Yeah.
summarize that. And so they have no problem. And I used to laugh when I did black shows. I was like, y'all are going to laugh whether I'm funny or not. Like, you're just happy to be here. Like they just scream when I walk. I didn't even open my mouth. They're like, yes, girl, yes. And I was like, I love you guys. You guys are amazing.
You like the fact that you showed up was it worth an applause?
They're like, oh my gosh, you made it in the building. Yay. But I will say you got to earn your stripes. Like, there's no such thing as a comedian who's not funny and then the audience just keeps laughing at them. If you're not funny, they're not going to laugh. Within a couple of minutes, they've figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
You can't
They're
fake
like,
it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It literally, people think like, okay, yeah, there's parts of comedy that you can learn, but it's a skill. Like it's literally a gift of who you are, not a skill. I hate that. I meant to say it's a gift, not a skill. Because
I don't know if it's teachable. Do you think comedy's teachable?
That's what I'm saying. It's not teachable. So it's not a skill that can be learned. It literally is just who you are. It's a part of you. Like, I don't try sometimes to be funny and people think I'm hilarious, but like it literally just comes out of me.
But I do know comedians that are not funny people, like off stage, a couple. Like, they're very dark, but then their brains work in a comedic way. Like my friend Carlos Oscar said, normal people say funny things, but comedians say things funny. Like, the way that we say things is just naturally funny.
It's true. It's true. And then, like, we utilize our gifts in a certain way. June said to me in the comments here, she said, Leslie said what? I'm sorry for saying sorry, Leslie. Oh my gosh, June, you're hilarious. Rebecca says, how can you apologize for how you were born? LOL. Truth. Like, nobody should be apologizing for anything. To me, it's just, anyway, long story. We could go down a rabbit hole with that because it's like a whole nother process. But yes, no, I totally get what everybody is saying in this aspect. But yes, like, as far as like comedy goes, skill set, I don't think it can be a skill that's learned. You can, if you're a comedian and you know you're a comedian, a gifted comedian, you can learn how to hone in your gift. But I don't think there's a matter of like, hey, let me teach you how to be funny. Because I have teachers that teach with me at the high school level. That's like, how do you make them laugh like that? Make me I was like, I don't know.
I mean, you could tell them funny things to say. Like,
exactly.
I have comedians that I write for, and I have really funny comedians that I write for. And then I've coached people in the past that were up and coming and they thought they wanted to do it. And then they were like, well, can you just write for me? I'm like, yeah, I mean, you could memorize an act, but I can't teach you timing. I can't teach you nuance. It's really not, it's something you're born with, and you either have it or you don't. It comes with a lot of consequences. 8th grade is not fun for comedians.
Yeah,
like,
no,
3rd
I totally
grade
agree.
is not fun. Sitting in the back of a church pew, I would hear the sermon about like Jesus walking on water, and my brain would be like, what if there was that one disciple who was like too fat to walk on water named Jerry, and then he tried to walk on water, and then Jesus was like, Jerry, you had too many fishes and loaves. Why don't you get Peter? He's skinny. Like my brain never operated on a normal level.
Ditto. Like, I seriously thought something was wrong with me growing up. Like, people were like, what is wrong with you? But it literally, I would seriously like, and that's the thing, I can make anything funny and I don't even be trying. Like,
do you have really bad things happen in your life and then you're like, this is going to go on stage after I stop sobbing on the floor? Like it'll be horrible. And then you're like, it's going in my act.
Yes. I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. Yep.
This divorce is going to kill.
Exactly. It's so true. Michelle Van Dusen says, can I be born again as a comedian?
Yes, Michelle.
Just you, Michelle. Just you. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Kerri, tell us what you're working on. Tell us about your podcast, as well as your new cooking show.
Thank you for bringing that up, because our wonderful friends at our wonderful Creative Motion Network, who I just love them, and they hooked me up with you. The Collier wonderful family.
I love them.
They're so supportive, and I love what they're doing. I want to give a big shout out to Creative Motion Network on Roku, and
woohoo!
Because technically,
shout out to Kevin and Kristen.
technically I'm on TV right now, and that makes me feel good about myself. But
Yeah, I know.
I have a cooking channel. Thank you.
Let's do the hair flip, Kerri. We're doing the hair flip.
What?
Yeah, and it's blowing in the wind.
So I know. I got these recipes from my grandmothers, my dead grandmothers. And can you hear the music in the bed? It's awesome. And so I'm doing this cooking show. It's on YouTube. Can you hear that? Seriously, this is awesome.
Barely.
Such an LA moment. Anyway, so I have a cooking show. It's called Cooking My Roots. You're in the kitchen with my dead grandmothers, and my daughter and I are cooking through some of the recipes. Now I suck as a cook, but I'm having a really great time. Just having fun. Trying to read, because they cook like a little dab of this and a little, and then they just skip entire things like turn the oven on. Maybe I should have remembered that in the recipe. Like they didn't write it down. So we've got 8 episodes out. You can find it on my YouTube. You can find it on Roku. And it's called Cooking My Roots. And then my daughter Lucy and I are doing a podcast called This Is Not a Good Idea. And it's the only time I can get her to talk to me once a week. And yeah, so.
Yes, Kerri's podcast with her daughter, guys, Lucy, is hilarious. So yes, definitely watch that. And then like her cooking show, I hear from Kristen and Kevin, is hilarious. So another must watch.
Well, and my ex-husband's my cameraman, so it's a big family nightmare. Basically, it's just
you're like it's a Lifetime movie waiting to happen.
People are like, "How do you manage a divorce?" I was like, "He lives in my garage. I'm not managing. But I'm happy to be working again. I don't know about you. I'm just so grateful to be back on the road. And I'm traveling and going to Washington, San Francisco. And I'm just grateful for my job. We talked about that the other day on the phone. After having the rug pulled out from underneath us, I've worked for 14 years straight. I mean, I gave birth. It was like breastfeeding on stage, like four weeks later. So I never had a break. And I just truly thank God. Like, I'm like, God, if I was ever arrogant about this job, I will work for Chipotle gift cards. Like, I love it. I love it so much. I just hope for Michelle, for all of us, that we get out there, we make people laugh, we bring the laughter. I want to encourage women like yourself. When I saw you on Facebook, I was like, she's got it going on. We need strong, funny women with strong point of view that are not taking our clothes off on stage, because nobody wants to see that, Leslie.
Exactly.
Let me be your Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm just telling you. You got to talk to comedian Bone about some of my outfits back in the day. And I honestly just wish I was skinny enough to wear some of those inappropriate. I used to have these tight little t-shirts, and it would say, your boyfriend says hi, and Bone would be like, Bone and I would be backstage. She's like, you better button that top button up. You better button, like literally like I was a little kid.
Oh my gosh.
I just want to be able to wear those now. But I really just want to encourage all the women out there that want to try comedy. Like, you just put your content out there. Make sure your content is excellent. Don't just throw it on YouTube because somebody says you need to throw it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. YouTube lasts forever, even if you delete it.
Yep.
It's like a bad boyfriend. You can't fully get rid of them until they die.
It's true.
I'm not saying, yeah.
Yeah. And I learned that anything you post, whether it was for 30 seconds and you took it down, or a minute and you took it down, it's there forever. It's in the cyberspace. It literally, people don't understand. It's deleted for you to see it, but a good hacker can pull it from cyberspace. It goes and it stays there. It's something I teach my students as well with their little stuff they be doing. But
Girl.
Rebecca says, I'm so jealous that you're at the beach.
What, Rebecca? What?
Michelle said, looking forward to watching the cooking show. And she says she's hitting menopause, so taking off clothes on stage might happen.
Michelle, whatever gets you votes and ratings on TikTok, that's all that matters.
Yes. And June agrees that the Creative Motion Network rocks. So, yes. And Michelle says that your podcast is fun.
Oh, thank you. Yes. I'm always late to the party. Like, my podcast, I feel like, is 4 years late. Like, I'm just getting off MySpace now.
No, that's hilarious. June says yes. Because June is also a comedian. I love her, by the way. Junebug. She says yes. Our funny will make the money. Don't have to lower our standards when we walk with our head held high. Truth. Well said, June. Well said. We do not have to lower our standards. We do not have to lower our morale to get on stage. It's not a thing.
And I want to make a comment about that. I know that, certain comedians have made a living by being really, really vulgar. But the problem is, and I'm just going to name names, like I know Amy Schumer is super vulgar and that's her thing. But I'm like, Amy, Sarah Silverman did that before you. And then Sarah Silverman, someone did that before you. It's not new what you're doing. And I give them respect because they're comedians and they are funny. But to go to that place of vulgarity where they think they're being new and edgy, nothing is new.
Yeah.
That's not new.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I remember just seeing an interview with Tiffany Haddish not too long ago, and there was a producer there who's known her since she was a little girl or a young girl, whatever. And she asked him point blank, why have you never called me for one of your movies? And he said, because you're just too much. You're doing too much. You're unpredictable. The things that you say, it's just too much.
Well,
and
I've gotten hired
producer.
I've gotten hired for some really good jobs in my career, big jobs, television jobs. They've scoured my YouTube, every single video that I've ever done. And over half the time they've said, we chose you because there's nothing about you that we're not proud to be part of our sponsorship.
Yeah, and guys, just to brag on Kerri a little bit, Tonight Show level. Kerri has been on the Tonight Show repeatedly. So just to put that out there, because Kerri, one thing that somebody said before I let you go, one thing somebody else said recently at a conference I went to, a comedy conference, they said that in the secular world, they said there's very limited amount of comedians they can put on anything, and be safe. A clean comedian, whether it's Christian or not, clean, whatever. If it's a clean comedian, they can go anywhere.
Look at Ellen DeGeneres. Look at Jim Gaffigan. Look at Brian Regan. Look at Sebastian Maniscalco. They're killing it right now. They're killing it. And I've seen, I've been in the clubs in LA, and I'll go to see my favorite comedians that I love on TV. And their club act isn't just dirty. It's offensive and disgusting and pornographic. And I just want to leave.
Exactly.
It's so, so I think that there's room for being a clean comic. Jay Leno, Jimmy Fallon, oh yeah, all those guys. So I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing and encourage people to support their favorite comedians, support the podcast, support who you love. It's not about who you're not supporting. It's about who you are supporting. Let's make a positive message. If you like something on the Roku channel, if you like something on Creative Motion, support it. Tell your friends. That's the best thing you can do. Share. Yes, because we need attention. We need attention. Look at me.
We do. We need attention. We need attention, Kerri. It's so true. Oh my gosh, Kerri. Thank you so much for pausing on your vacation to be on here. Look at Kerri, guys. She's modeling for us.
Yes.
You go, Kerri.
And you know what? People at this beach don't even think I'm weird. I'm
right. Well, you are in LA. I mean,
I'm up against the pole, Leslie. That's a whole new episode.
Yes, it's a whole nother thing, girl.
That's right. Hey, well, congratulations to you for making this hack of an episode work. Thank you.
I know we did the thing. We did it. Like I said, we know how to
We'll
read
have
the room.
to do another one. Let's do another one when I'm indoors.
Yeah. Gotcha. And Michelle says she likes both of us and our work. So, woohoo!
Michelle is such a wonderful cheerleader. I always appreciate her so much.
She's so supportive. All right, guys.
And I want to give a shout out to my mother who is probably watching.
Aw. Hi, Kerri's mom.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Kerri's mom.
All right, so you guys, I seriously have no idea where my kids are, so I should probably sign off.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Have fun.
Bye, Leslie.
Bye. All right, guys. So next week, I'm so glad Kerri was able to do it because, we seriously were both like, how's this going to work? But next week, guys, so this ends our Celebrities of Christian Entertainment interview series. And next week starts a different topic. Okay, so I'm doing a different series next week. This one, well, one show, I think maybe one or two. We'll see how next week goes. But next week, I'm bringing on some of my students from my classroom. I think last year. Yeah, last school year, and they are Christian girls trying to make it in today's high school. And so they are going to hop on next week and talk with me and you guys about trying to be a Christian girl in today's high school. So you guys know this is going to be lit. So tune in next week for this. I will post the graphic flyer or whatever advertising it this week. So be sure tune in next week for this conversation. Oh, hi, Barb. Oh, Kerri's mom. Oh, thanks, Barb. I'm glad you love the show. Yeah, love your daughter, by the way. She is hilarious. Oh, anyway, guys, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging in there with me and Kerri. We tried our best to make all this work today, but that's it for tonight, guys. We hope that you all have a good night, and God bless from less. Okay, wait, I just said that, and I'm like, that kind of sounds really good. Maybe that's what I should say at the end of every show. God bless, love less. Anyway, Leslie Rob is out.